And that didn't happen. It was just a 3 count.
Now, I will say, though, as much as I'm not happy to see Goldberg win the championship again, I'm not happy to see Wyatt lose. If we're going into story mode and we're going into long-term, Goldberg, it makes sense for Goldberg to beat Bray Wyatt, because Bray Wyatt, or The Fiend, because he was a strong champion, and you're not going to have... you're not going to have Seth
any
Rollins
normal one.
up.
Yeah,
you're not going to have...
It would take Brock Lesnar, probably.
Yeah, it'd take a Brock... You want it to be a Lesnar, a Goldberg sort of guy. And as you mentioned, Roman Reigns challenged Goldberg. So we're, 97% sure Roman Reigns is winning the title at Mania?
Yeah.
And I'd rather...
Vince's way. And they both got booed on SmackDown anyway.
I'd rather Roman Reigns win the title from Goldberg.
Roman Reigns Goldberg is going to be a good-ass match. It's going to be short, but it's going to be good.
Spear versus Spear,
Yeah. I wish it was Goldberg, Edge, and Reigns, but I'll take Edge Orton. That's fine, too.
And then... I don't know. The whole John Cena thing, from what I read, I didn't watch it. I don't know if you watched it.
I did. I was disappointed.
So it's basically just John Cena came out and said, it's WrestleMania. I don't need to wrestle. I've done all my things. I'll let everybody wrestle. I
don't want to step on the toes
I don't
of the
have
future
to do
of the
it.
company.
And then as he left, Bray Wyatt came up behind him and, like you said, he challenged him because he wanted. I say he says, well, I just I want to fight.
Yeah, he just pointed at the WrestleMania sign and stood there.
Yeah,
and then Cena tipped his hat at him and walked out. And was like, huh? But I get it. I do get it, because Cena was the one who fucked The Fiend over the most. And then Cena's also hustle, loyalty, respect. And so maybe it's a head game for The Fiend to come out and be respectful.
I get it, but I think it dilutes it by having Cena come out and say, I don't have to wrestle at WrestleMania. It isn't important to me. It isn't a big deal anymore.
Yeah.
And then you say, then you have Bray Wyatt. Again, it's the Universal Championship all over again. It's like, Bray Wyatt's in a match, but it isn't even important to Cena.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if he wins, Cena has nothing on the line. He just said he didn't even want a match.
Man, if that championship was in the fray, that would be,
the
best possible outcome.
I would like that.
Yeah. But I do admit, although I think Goldberg Reigns would be better without the champion, or would be just as good without the championship, you don't need the gold on the line in that match. So I don't know that you could even.
Well, you kind of do, just because they're both faces. So how would you?
And now,
bring
so
that
what?
story?
There's gonna be the tag team elimination chamber match, because now all the men for WrestleMania are already decided. So there's a tag team, and then there's gonna be a women's.
I don't know. Oh, yeah. They said that they've like 2 people are already called out for the women's. I think on SmackDown they determined 2 for the women's,
which is fair. I think the tag team is going to be good, and at least they're both going to be very different. If it's a singles women's elimination chamber and a tag team men's elimination, it'll be fresh.
Like we said with, I don't remember if it was Hell in a Cell or which, I don't remember what we were talking about, one of them gimmick ones. It's like, if you can at least make them the 2 very different, it helps. It still sucks any gimmick match having 2 of the same on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It's rarely ever good, but if you can at least make them very different, that helps.
I just want this to be the last year that the top guys in the company fight a bunch of old guys at WrestleMania, because we're gonna have Styles, Undertaker, we're gonna have The Fiend, John Cena. I guess John Cena's not that old, but he's clearly not a wrestler anymore.
He's not young. He's like 45.
Yeah.
That's not
Goldberg, Reigns, Orton, and Edge taking up a slot on WrestleMania when there's already that many old dudes on the card is now seeming a little bit redundant.
We always talk about that, but to be fair, it's always been like that from the beginning of WrestleMania throughout the entirety of WrestleMania. Now, I'm not going to say that every single WrestleMania has always had old guys at the top.
I prefer
of the
when
card.
It's just one old guy. That's where I'm sitting.
Yeah. I guess the other thing is...
when Hulk Hogan still says he's going to be having a match at WrestleMania.
The other thing is,
Geriatric Mania.
We always say that we have the final say in what happens, and we kind of do. Every time that Goldberg and Brock Lesnar are on top, every time that they throw Undertaker on a card, it gets more views than it does when it is just the young guy. So for as much as we say that... and until we fucking back it up, they're going to keep doing it. We're the ones that are making
its biggest ratings of the year for Cena and Goldberg yesterday.
Yeah, so it's like, why? So it's us. It is Vince. Don't get me wrong, but it's also us. Every time, if we main evented WrestleMania,
it's
with
us,
Ricochet and Morrison.
And neighbors.
If it was Ricochet versus John Morrison main eventing WrestleMania, I'd love it. I'd watch it. I'd pay money for it. Hell, I'd maybe even buy the pay-per-view just to show them I'm going to pay extra money for it. But it'd be me and 3 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So all in all, I'm salty about the results of this, and I'm going to give it like a D, just because I'm salty about it, and it was a Saudi show, and your rating's not here to give any sway to it.
Oh, I give it an incomplete. I give all of these incomplete, so fuck them. So it's either going to sink their grade or we'll just give it your grade. So let's just give it your grade. D.
Yeah. Although I see where they're paving the road towards WrestleMania, and I kind of like the card that's building out resentfully.
Well, that also, and I can't say I disagree with you, but man, just every time I read these quote-unquote dirt sheets, and who knows how reliable half their stuff is, but all of these leaked WrestleMania matches almost every week or even multiple times a week, they're like, oh, changes made to WrestleMania. Oh, changes made to WrestleMania.
They say WWE is trying really hard to screw the dirt sheets this year going into Mania, so there's no spoilers ahead of time, although everything's playing out the same way everybody had kind of predicted, except for the championship changed.
I just think they don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they say that so often that, we're just trying to keep them on their toes or we feed them false information.
That's why Vince is rewriting the shows.
But yeah, then whenever you hear people that literally work there, they're saying, no, it gets changed daily, if not hourly. So
yeah,
you never know.
I imagine working in WWE headquarters is a lot like working in the White House. I don't think there's any difference. I think it's a mirror. I think you could step through a mirror from one place and be in the other place. So yeah, that was Super Saudi letdown again.
Yeah. Always is a letdown. Always is.
What's not a letdown, though? I want to talk quick because it's not in anything else, and I just want to inject.
Inject.
But a little while ago, I had brought up to you about doing something like D&D related just as a joke because it gets YouTube or podcast hits like crazy. And now Wrestle Talk has got their Parts Fun Known channel that's starting up. And that's why, what's-his-face, Adam Blampede is there in the first place. And they're going to start playing a D&D wrestling game tomorrow. And I am so excited and pissed off we didn't do it first. Because I brought it up a long time ago and we could have beat him to the punch.
Yeah, but you need people that know D&D, care about D&D.
Yeah. I understand the mechanics of it. I've never sat down and played a game.
Exactly.
I understand it enough, and I got enough wrestling knowledge. I could hash out a good storyline.
I mean, I've watched a lot of D&D themed episodes of TV shows, but if you're not like a 10-year D&D veteran, they're gonna all of the fans.
But if you're nerdy and you're into wrestling and you're listening to Beef Sticks podcast and you haven't heard about it yet, check it out tomorrow. It starts airing on YouTube on Parts Fun Known. It's called No Rolls Barred. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be amazing.
And talking about no rolls barred, that brings us to the Savage Sentinel that does not bar any rolls. And just to emphasize,
I got a Bismarck right now, actually.
It's not barred. First on the docket, MMA Junkie reported that the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations overturned the submission win by Tito Ortiz over Alberto El Patron from this past December. As we mentioned here on the show, Ortiz actually I think we just mentioned it last week.
Yeah.
Because of I don't know why. Oh, because of Ortiz training in WWE. That's right.
Yes.
Ortiz scored the victory in the main event of Combat Americas in Hidalgo, Texas. They have done the same thing in the past, changing a 2013 win by Jessica I to a no contest, as it was later revealed that I tested positive for marijuana. In an email to MMA Fighting on Tuesday, Telemanga of the TDLR said, quote, the results of the fight were changed pending further investigation, unquote, but that they could not offer more information at the time. Well, since we're recording a day late, we actually got in on the action because on Friday there was an update from TDLR stating, quote, a urine sample provided by Jacob Tito Ortiz Jacob Tito Christopher Ortiz, on December 7th, 2019, at the Combat Americas MMA event, showed a potentially disqualifying substance that Ortiz claimed was prescribed by a physician. Pending the outcome of the TDLR inquiry into whether the substance was indeed prescribed by a physician, TDLR marked the fight results as no contest. TDLR confirmed with the physician that the item was prescribed to Ortiz. TDLR has reinstated Ortiz's victory in the December 7th bout.
There you go.
So he still is victorious over El Patron.
Even still, they didn't do that shit to Brock Lesnar. Racist. I know it's a different company, but it's still the same organization.
Yeah, they did. They took away his win. He doesn't have it. Yeah,
I thought they just banned him.
No, it became a no contest.
And fined him. Okay.
Yep, they did the same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And at the same time, I don't believe that was in Texas, so it would have been a completely different company. So it would have been blah, 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 blah. Right. But yeah.
Well, the Steiner brothers Steinerized in Florida Friday night. Dory Funk Jr. hosted his Bang TV network show at the Bellevue High School in Bellevue, Florida. And the former NWA World Champ tagged with two other Hall of Famers in Rick and Scott Steiner as they defeated three of Funk's students.
I hope the Steiners didn't bring any Sharpies with them.
First, they crippled their minds with Steiner math. And then they crippled their bodies.
Can I just be the first to say that I would not take my kids to a show at a high school called Bang TV? just throwing that out there. Yeah. That's me personally, not judging.
Yeah.
Gonna go check out his
Throw
Bang
that flyer
TV.
Straight in the garbage. You are not going to Bang TV.
It's somebody else who's not going to Bang. PWInsider.com reports that the Revival applied to trademark the following terms on the 22nd of this month. Those terms being, quote, top guys, quote, say yeah, and, quote, no flips, just fists. Then, what makes the story even more interesting, Casey, just 2 days after those were filed, WWE filed for trademarks on the 24th for the term The Mechanics, which was the original tag team name for Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson in 2014 NXT before they became the Revival.
I don't think they'll be going after that name, though.
And,
you know?
Well, you never know, because WWE does own the Revival. So when they leave WWE, if WWE didn't own the Mechanics, they could use it, and it has been advertised.
Couldn't they just be
WWE.
Dash and Dawson? Like, that's what I would try to, I guess they
well, no, they probably can't be that too, either. Huh? But, you know, if WWE has promoted the Mechanics in the past like they have, it has value. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, WWE also trademarked no flips, just fists, the same exact trademark that the Revival is applying for.
The assholes.
So the Revival's trademark would seem to indicate that they are planning for a post-WWE future, and WWE filing the trademarks would appear to potentially block them from using the Mechanics team name and the no flips, just fists phrase.
Next week on SmackDown,
and when they leave the company.
Heavy Machinery is going to be rebranded as the Mechanics. And their new slogan is going to be no flips, just fists.
Exactly.
Tucky! Come on, Tucky!
Yeah. You have to assume that maybe Heavy Machinery came from...
Ziggler and Rude were the other tag team in the Elimination Chamber, so it's going to be fun.
Fun times.
Yes, fun.
I think somebody else is having fun, Pasty.
Yeah, Rob Van Dam. We all know he's a fan of marijuana, and he has been an advocate for the legalization of weed for a very long time. All that hard work, though, is soon to pay off. One fan tweeted RVD about dropping his own strain of marijuana. The whole effing show was quick to announce that his strain is coming, and sooner than some might think. 420 in Denver is happening. The date and location are perfect for Rob Van Dam to announce his emergence into the marijuana world with his own strain. I'm hoping it's called the whole effing grow.
That is just, that's awesome. I love it. Good for him.
It's good.
Good for him for going out there doing
something.
Are
him and Val Venus going to go in business together? That's the question.
Or are they going to be competitors? I mean, Rob Van Dam's already taken over